Welcome to this episode of Talking Voiceovers. Today we're going out further afield to Trinidad and Tobago. We're going to be meeting with Lylah Persad. She's a producer, artistic director, book author, voice artist, all-round creative. So without further ado, Lylah, welcome.
You're listening to Talking Voiceovers with Gail.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to be met.
Wow, this is the longest distance conversation that I've had so far. So Lylah, I want to know everything about you. All right, first tell me, you do voiceovers. How did that start for you?
Well, let me start by saying it was by accident. Not really. When I left school in 95, maybe 96, it was some years ago, my mom had signed me up for broadcasting classes because that was a thing. First of all, I did not know. I learned cartoons and all of this, and I love to read, and I've always wanted to be a voice actor, but I didn't know it was a thing. So she signed me up for broadcasting in Trinidad, and one of my teachers, Barbara Asun, who is now deceased, she loved my voice. She thought I was so animated, and I could do so much with it. And she asked me to read a script which was sent to the BBC as a radio storytelling program. I didn't make a big deal of it. It was not that big a deal. We did a lot of advertising and script writing at my workshop. So it was something that we did, but it was still not that big a deal. And then my teacher, Holly Thomas, told me one day if I could come to the studio to do station liners, which I knew was a thing. So, I'd be like, Sunday morning, 105 FM, Holly T. So I knew I had that voice, but I didn't know where the voice could take me, even though you hear it over and over again. Years passed, I got into a lot of things. I came out of ballet. I did so many things, and I ended up as an actor. There was a casting call, and I loved to read, and I saw scripts, and I was like, yeah, I want to be a part of that. And then I developed my acting skills. And I can't remember how it happened, but someone asked me if I would voice an ad for them. I was like, what does that mean? I want you to read the script as if you're having a conversation with someone else. We're going to produce it and put it on the radio. So that was right up my alley because I could read, And it just became, and when I got there, it was supposed to be three persons. It was supposed to be me, of FVO2, and an announcer. But those people didn't come on time, and I was happy, so I showed up on time, and I ended up behind the mic practicing reading the entire thing, FVO1, FVO2, an announcer, and I nailed it, and I got paid for the entire ad. And from then, that producer at that studio kept calling me, and then I don't know what happened, but my name started to get around. And I just got into it. So, it was an accident, but not quite, because it seemed like I've always prepared for it, from broadcasting to timing to articulation to doing things the correct way. And then I just got into it. I do have a background. I started training with the Trinidad Theatre Workshop in 2001, maybe. But of course, we had school plays and that sort of stuff. But it was not so much to be an actor. It was something to do. I like the idea of doing characters.
So now in Trinidad and Tobago, do you get opportunities to do such work?
Not so much character work. I'm more of advertising. When I do audiobooks and stuff, it's not for Trinidad, it's for outside of Trinidad. However, I am also a co-author of a local book where we did 2 of the stories in audio form. So I was able to do that here. But for characters, it's mostly outside Turkey or the United States or the United Kingdom or somewhere in the world that I don't always know. But, but here it's more advertising. But yeah, so I do a wide range of work, but mostly I try to teach it now. I think that, are you listen toable? Are you that voice? Because nobody sees you. When an advertisement comes on that radio, that's the first thing people hear is your voice. Are you going to catch your audience with what you're saying? There's speech articulation and diction. There is pronunciation. There's practicing your THs. There is slowing down so you can hear yourself so that you can speed up to work in a certain time frame.
Do you teach online or face to face?
Well, I do face to face. I prefer face to face so that I can touch your stomach and feel how you're breathing. There's certain things I like to do in person, but also I don't always do beginners classes. You must have a level of acting experience or can read really well for me to teach you.
Right now, for example, in
Yes.
South Africa, you could say that it's a small country because there's a few cities and then a lot of space. So if you put all of them together, it's a small country, kind of like where you are. So there's not a lot happening, and a lot of us have to go and find work outside as well, just like you were saying. So it would be great for people to get experience coaching with
Correct.
somebody from outside like you, and maybe they can learn your accent as well, which is amazing.
Thank you.
It's so much fun to hear.
Oh wow. I get that a lot. You have an accent.
Well, I'm French as well as British and South African. So when I talk, normally it all comes out in one big muddle. When I'm behind the microphone, I'll put it out properly. But when I'm talking naturally, it goes all over the place.
And one of the things you're going to need to learn is if you're doing characters, it's okay to be silly.
Yeah.
You have to be silly. You have to be silly. If you're not silly, then what are you doing? Because we're not taught to be like this in real life, even though we all are that. We all have the same characters inside of us, but we're taught that it's not acceptable.
Do
We're
funny
taught
voices.
when to laugh, when to speak, when to do this, how to hold your fork, how to sit, we're taught all of these things is taught to us. But inside of us, we're a whole world of characters that works so well, surprisingly. Well, not surprisingly, it's punny, but it works so well for the viewing and listening audience. Why? Because it's relatable. It's relatable because we all have it, but we're just not allowed to do it whenever we feel like it.
Yes.
The Matrix. The Matrix.
Maybe that's why I'm more comfortable doing e-learning and serious things, because making funny voices, it's okay at home, but it's quite a different thing when you're in front of a microphone.
When you're behind the microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, behind. Why did I say behind? Yeah, you're behind it. No,
Did
you're
I
in
say
front.
behind?
No, yes, you're behind it.
Or in front.
Front of, because you're facing this way. I don't know. Ah!
Oh yeah, you're behind the camera when you're busy filming somebody, but you're in front of the camera when you're being filmed. Huh.
Listen, and that's one of the perks of being a voice actor. I don't have to dress.
Yeah. I'm only half dressed, I'll tell you now.
I wanted to ask if you're wearing pants, but I didn't know if that was appropriate.
I'm at least wearing pants, yes, but not like suit pants or anything.
Do you have is this your own studio?
Yeah.
Very nice.
It is. This is the door for closing it.
Your soundproof door.
Yeah.
So you're a producer as well, yeah?
Oh, no, I just record voiceovers.
Oh, that's all. That's like a big deal, okay?
Oh, and I do YouTube channel. I do that
See?
too.
Very nice. That's good though. They see that's what I mean. And you see, if you can find avenues, this was your idea. You came up with this show. And this is my thing. You just created a way in which you can use your voice, bring other voices in, and inspire people. You've created that. I don't know a lot of people who are doing this with voice actors. There are a lot of celebrities out there. They're doing talk shows and a lot of things, but I don't know personally a lot of people who are doing this with voice actors. You have your YouTube channel, and then there's the e-learning, and look at how many things there are to do. There's gaming, there's audiobooks, there's advertising, there's phone lines, there's so many things you can do. And we're going to open the doors to young persons who may be interested in it and just thought it was a dream. Do you know how fantastic that is?
That is the whole idea, is to inspire people who didn't know that they could do voiceovers instead of sitting there and waiting for a job to fall on their lap.
Correct.
Go out there and do your thing.
Write your script, read a story, because children's storytelling is a thing. I'm a children's storyteller. I do storytelling. We help children write their stories and then voice them eventually, or put them on screen or something, or there are ways to do it. So it's not just, it's a whole thing. It's not just to read Reading is most important, of course. Read, but learn to write as well. Whatever your thoughts are, however you feel, give it a character if it makes you comfortable and put it out there. Why not? Because that was somebody's dream at some point, and why we have so many. If you think of Sesame Street is a bunch of crazy stuff that works.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah,
What
it
is a
works.
snuffleupagus? What?
I don't know. There's a lot of kids who like these weird things. I think when,
You
yeah.
do?
If you're enjoying this episode, give it a thumbs up. So, what do you do from Trinidad and Tobago to find work outside of your physical location?
You know, a work comes to me a lot. I'm not just a voice actor. I train HR managers, confidence building, presentation skills. I'm also an activities coordinator. So I've worked with various resorts and hotels. I'm a script writer. I'm a writer on a whole and a storyteller. So a lot of the work I do has to do with culture, tourism, and education. So in terms of like, I'm only in Trinidad as of the COVID last year, March 27th, I came back, but I was working our sister island, Tobago, as the activities coordinator to a hotel, writing shows and doing guest activities. You know, all of it comes back to using your voice really and truly, whatever you do. So in terms of finding work, I don't find work, I create it, market it, or and I market it to the correct people who are willing to pay for it. It takes a lot of time and preparation, but it's always worth it. You know, but there's so many opportunities, and that's the thing. After I did some broadcasting, I ran the mall radio. Oh, here's how I got into ads as well. I just remembered this. I ran a mall radio in Trinidad, Long Circular Mall in 1996 or 97. It was just back to back, so I don't remember the years too well. And I realized that on my shift, because it was part of my training to do that, on my shift, I realized that, you know, they would give us ads to read of the different stores. That was their policy. And I'm reading ads, and I realized the shift is changing and everybody's just dropping their ads for me to read. So I complained. I said, listen, everybody's just dropping their ads for me. Nobody wants to do the work. And he says to me, Lylah, the management of the mall wants you to do the ads. And I thought, why? You know, because they like how you do the ads. What?
That's an indication that you've got a voice.
We have a voice, but we all have a voice. Is what you're using it for?
What is the favorite voiceover that you do, that you like to do?
Characters.
Yeah.
If you gave me a witch or a little, you know, those little spiritual Chinese old men, well, oh my gosh. You know, like, I picture this turtle, okay? What a voice, because I watched, maybe it was Kung Fu Panda, or one of them. There was a turtle, there was this little spiritual kind of turtle, and he said, you need to be very careful. He's a very clever villain. You know, that kind of tone, or even if it's a witch. My minions are everywhere. The Caribbean will be ours. You know, those kind of stuff. I like that. I like that.
Cat, stop it.
So, but in all honesty, it really doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me if there's a challenge or there's a script or whatever. I want to give it a shot. And I want to encourage even professional voice actors. Some people depend on a phone call. Go to auditions. Go to auditions. Do a demo reel and send it out when you are ready. I don't know how it works internationally, because here we don't have, they're casting directors internationally. There are a number of valid places that will take you seriously. Voquant, send your stuff out. You never know what could happen. But also within your community, where you are, in your country, where you are, find advertising agencies. If there are advertising agencies, find clients and go to them and say, listen, this is what I have to offer you. Are you willing to pay for it? Create the opportunities that you want. You have to know what you want. If this is what you want, then you have to find a way. If there's no way, create it. It's that simple. Believe it or not.
I like that.
Invest your time in what you want to do.
That's very important, because voice actors might be focused on getting their voice skills polished, but it serves no purpose if you can't get the work to use those skills. Marketing is such a big thing, and it's an Achilles heel for a lot of people. Let's say in our audience there are people who have never done this before. How would they go about finding the opportunities? Who do they speak to besides an advertising company? Do they go online? How would you do it? How do you find the people?
That is a good question. Where do you find people? This is going to sound really strange, but I believe in the law of attraction. Don't find things. I personally don't find things. I say, this is my head, this is what I want. I prepare for it in however I can. And things find themselves, things show up, and I'll be like, oh my gosh. And it's just about the preparation for what you want. It's not, I think the work is in the preparation. Don't find anything. Don't look for anything. Prepare for it mentally, and it finds itself to you. Somehow, I can't explain it. It's just how it works for me. And here's the thing, if voice acting is what I want, then when I go on social media or Google or stuff, that's the stuff I'm going to look for. That's what you look for. And you're going to find anything you look for, you will find, Whatever you're looking for, you will find it. It might take time, but you will find it.
What did you do during the pandemic? You said you came back to Trinidad.
I did.
You get stuck at home? Did you have a studio at home?
I don't have a studio at home, but I have a lot of studio producers who would produce the work anyway. So I just have to send them a really good recording. Just get a really quiet space and record directly into your mic. And I send it off to my producers. So I have done that. I've done book editing. I've just completed 2 books to be published for drama in schools. It's gone to the publishers. We don't know what's happening because of the pandemic. And then I'm working on, I had an online play reading of a play that I did in 2018. So I did the first act of that on television. And right now I'm working on a radio script, because I want to do radio storytelling, but I don't really know how to write for radio that well. I know it's different because you have to put in every sound, and timing is different. So I'm working on that now-ish, and possibly do online voice acting workshops. I'm not a big fan of it, but a couple persons have asked, and I was like, I'll think about it.
So what I'm hearing you say is that the challenge of the pandemic is just that. It's a challenge. You find ways to adapt and you do things, and it's not a problem.
Pandemic or not, life goes on. I'm not an outside person so much as I need to be outside. I have plants, I have to water, I have food to make. There are things to do. I'm one of those people who I like spending time with myself. I like quiet. I don't like to be distracted with the matrix, as a friend of mine calls it, the matrix. I don't like to be distracted with all that. So there's always something to do. As a creator, somebody who I'm always thinking of things. If I get up one day and I don't know what to do, I'm going back to sleep. And I'm okay with that.
It's great. I mean, we, as freelancers and creators, we don't need to be working from 8 till 5 every single day, sit at our desk, even if we don't know what to do, just sit there and hope something will happen. It's good to be able to take the time to relax into the work and work when we really feel like it.
When you're ready. I mean, that's why I say there's preparation. There are many ways to prepare. A script doesn't just come overnight. It's just a process. It's just a process. I think we live in a world where it's go, 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 go. If you're not doing something, you're lazy, or if you're not lazy, you have no ambition and stuff. And people will not understand, but that's okay too. You do what you have to do. At the end of the day, I have one goal. I just want to be happy.
And the message I get from that is that you can be happy doing what you want to do. You can create your own happiness.
You are, yeah, exactly. You can. I mean, listen, I always don't compare yourself to what the world is doing. Who has the best voice? Who's getting the more jobs? No. This is what I have to offer. This is what I have to offer. And that's enough. And give that to the world. They'll find a way to do it.
I like that. I like that philosophy. It's great. It's not, I'm going to sit here and wait for somebody to hand me a job. I'm going to go
What are
looking
you
for
waiting
it.
for?
No, exactly. I'm going to
Who
create
owes
my own life. It is relevant to the world of voiceovers because voice artists are creators and most of them freelance. So you have to have that mental health and that mental strength and that outgoing,
you have to that's
character.
the thing, and that's what I always and that's what I always tell people. You have to know what you want and why do you want it.
Is there work for the Trinidad and Tobago accent all over the world as is, or do you only have work in locally?
People do Jamaican accents all over the world. I don't know if it's the influence of Bob Marley and his music, but if you go to even the United States right now, every time someone asks for a Caribbean voice, they go for Jamaican because they've made it theirs. They've made other people want to understand it.
If somebody in the audience wanted to contact you to find out what else you have to teach them about being a voice artist, where would they reach you?
Emails are always best for me. zenlylah@gmail.com. Emails are always good. I'm on LinkedIn, Lylah, Lylah, Persad, Persad, or Instagram.
Thanks for joining us on Talking Voiceovers. It was really amazing speaking with you so far away.
Thank you so much for having me.
Then one day I will come to Trinidad and Tobago and I will come and say hi.
You're so cool. I can't believe we met. I mean, it's like I'm talking to you, but I don't feel like I'm talking to a stranger. I feel like we do this. Like this is something we do. So weird.
I don't really believe in strangers anymore. We're all the same.
No, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for watching Talking Voiceovers. If you don't want to miss any of the following episodes, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell button.